Not very awake. Hey, good morning. We up yet? We're live. Hey, good morning. This is the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show at 7:39. Yeah, I did not get up as fast. I had to print out some stuff for the kids. And you know what? I was up late last night and things happen. And this is Greg. I'm Greg Mester, and this is the 5 a.m. Mester Scrum Show. I'm your Scrum Master and Agile Coach. And we talk about Agile and Scrum in a practical and tactical way. Sorry I'm late. It's not the 5 a.m. hour, but I did post up that we were up until we were attending a meetup in New Zealand at 2 a.m. in the morning. So the probability of me getting up at 5:30 was there. I did. I hit the snooze alarm, and I'm back. But it was fun. It was a great event. It's amazing, and maybe I'll text out about it. I did put some comments up about that yesterday. How there are some good things with the pandemic, not people dying and people getting sick and things like that, and people out of work. That's bad. But what's beautiful about human beings is they're trying new things and they're experimenting in ways they wouldn't have done normally. And because of that, they do more virtual stuff. And I know some people in New Zealand, and I'm connected with people over there. And it was a fun thing just to sit there and experience talking about Agile with people on the exact opposite side of the world, pretty much. I think there's a 16-hour difference between where I am here and there. And it was fun. It was a good expansion of thought, talking to some people about Agile around the world. And just, it was a couple people gave some presentations and just chatting with people and doing some Zoom stuff and things like that. It was good. It was fun. Glad I did it. I'll do it again. Hopefully I'll do it in some other places around the world too, as they do more virtual local community events and things like that. And it was fun. So 2 topics today. We do 2 topics. We keep it under 15 minutes. One, I'm going to talk about what do you do when your Scrum team wants to skip daily Scrum, right? And sometimes it's not just the Scrum team. Sometimes the managers come in. And I've been there where managers are like, well, do we need to do daily Scrum every day? Let's save some time. So we'll talk about what do you do, how do you handle that, because it does happen. Some people out there are like, what do you mean, no daily Scrum? How can they not do it? Trust me, there are people out there that say it, and there's reasons behind it. There's legit reasons. And then the other thing, documentation taken too far. I put this little checkbox up there, this little blank check and a little check. Spent 5 to 10. It was a lunchtime call the other day. Spent like 10 minutes talking about whether or not to check a box off. And I was so pissed. Such a waste of time. And that's over documentation. So we'll talk about over documentation a little bit. As we know that you're not supposed to do over documentation. Anyway, so what do you do? Why? First off, someone would come to me as Scrum Masters or in the past and say, hey, do we have to do daily Scrum every day? And I ask a lot of questions. So why do you want to, not do daily Scrum every day? We got a lot of work to do. Okay. I was like, okay, so you got a lot of work to do. Are you getting stuff done? Right. And let's look at the heart of the daily Scrum. What did you get done yesterday? What do you plan to get done today? And any blockers? How long is your daily Scrum? Is it 15 minutes? Is it brief? Is it effective? Are your people getting what they need to get out of daily Scrum? Or is it just a status brief? Is it off the center, not coordinated? There's so many reasons why people don't want to do daily Scrum, because it's mismanaged. It's misrun. It's not effective. It's not to the point. It's not succinct. I can go through the whole list. When they do that, I go sit on their daily Scrum and I'll come back. Well, I can tell why you don't want to do daily Scrum. But here's my other question. There's a lot of contributing factors, and we talk about that in the past. And just want to bring it up today a little bit because I had someone say they don't do the daily Scrum every day. And part of it is they don't get stuff done, right? Now, there is a legit situation where I had a team that I was working as an Agile coach, but I was also the Scrum Master for a management team in the group that did a lot of support work. And the team when we dissect how many hours they could really spend on it, turned out they were only able to spend like 25%, 50% of their time on the stuff related to the Agile part of the team. They were doing other things on other projects. So it really didn't make sense to have a daily scrum every day because they weren't getting work done on a daily basis. There was nothing to talk about, right? So I was like, fine, let's just do it let's do it a Tuesday and Thursday or something like that. And just make sure we're all synced up and see what's going on and see if there's anything blocking, because the group wasn't legitimately spending full time on the work. But it was nice managing that way because we could see how things were going. We did the demos, we did the reviews, we kind of planned for what we did, but we planned for how much availability the team had to actually work on the work. So it helped out a little bit, but it's also okay to be flexible because, again, they weren't getting stuff done because they weren't working on it. Now let's apply that was legitimate. Only spent 25% of our time on the special project versus a full-time Scrum team. Why aren't they getting stuff done? There's 5 people on a team. There's plenty of stuff that should be getting done every day. Are we not building our stories small enough to be done in a day? Are we not getting tasks done? Are tasks taking too long? Are we blocked? What's stopping all these things? So there's a whole bunch of stuff that contributes to what it would be. And I would ask that question. If you're not getting stuff done, we're doing things wrong. And I would retrospect on it. I'd like to get down to the heart to why we think not doing daily scrum is productive. There could be a whole list. Time too long, mismanaged, people aren't paying attention, it's an outbrief, the work's not getting done in a day, we don't get anything done at all between daily scrums, which is a heck of a flag out there for that. They get too much other stuff to, I can go forever, right? But you really need to retrospect on it and don't just willy-nilly say, oh, let's do daily scrum. And don't take the attitude that we have to do it because that's part of Scrum. You should be doing daily Scrum because it adds value to the team. And you need to find out why it's not adding value. Why would they ask that question, right? So that's very important. You need to do that. It's not just, it is. It is why is it, right? So that is what I want to talk about daily Scrum. So I started asking those questions. These are legit questions, right? And when the team says, do we need to do daily Scrum? There's a legit reason why they're asking that question. Sometimes the Scrum Master has to point back at themselves. When am I effing up that my team doesn't want to do daily Scrum? Am I messing up daily Scrum or the Scrum process that much that they don't see value in daily Scrum? Is it a bunch of stovepipes where no one works with each other and they get the project done from start to grave? So there really is no reason to do daily Scrum because there's no interaction between the people on the team. Maybe something to think about, right? Okay. So that was that one. So something to take. The other one is documentation over documentation. We go working software over documentation. So documentation is minimized, right? So the other day, we had a meeting. We were talking about definition of ready. And they were talking about definition of fresh and how to apply it. And they were talking about these fields. We spent a good 5, 10, 15, almost 20 minutes of this 1 hour conversation during lunchtime, talking about these fields. And I'm like, why are you talking about these fields? And I'm going to tell you which fields they were talking about. So the whole presentation they want to share in the documentation, how to mark something in the definition ready. How do we know it's ready? They have a whole slide that went through. It was a nice slide. They kind of laid it out. And at the end, the last line was, at the end, you check the ready box in Jira that the story's ready to be worked or the feature's ready, which is awesome. Then we went into a whole thing. Well, should the checkbox be checked off when they start, or should it be blank when it starts? We literally spent 5 minutes to 10 minutes talking about whether or not the check mark should be marked or not marked. And I'm like, really? The whole entire document, the whole process is about definition ready. There's a checkbox that says ready. Do we really got to over document this and tell them exactly why and when the checkboxes should be done? And it's not just them, it's another group just doing it too. And I'm like, you guys are insane. Legitimately insane. And like it's over documentation. But then there was another kicker. So that was the one that really talked me off. So we had the checkbox, right? Do we uncheck it when we start and check it when we go? Right now I know where the mentality was of this other group that came up with something. But the other part we talked about was there's we put a list of required fields when they start these up in the systems. What data do you need? And one of the fields was the title. And the title's required. I'm like, we don't need to document the title is required. And they're like, yes, we do. It's a required field. We need to document. I'm like, no, the system won't let you save an issue if you don't put a title. But we need to document it. I'm like, you can't save the darn thing if you don't put a title in. Sooner or later, they're going to figure it out. Like, we don't need to write documentation to tell people to put a title in the issue in the system, because the system won't let you save anything without a title. So, and they're arguing with me. I'm like, no, you don't get it. You can't do anything. There's no reason to document it. The system, the working software does it. We don't need the. It's like going on Facebook. Maybe we should document why you have a little camera icon on Facebook so everybody knows what to use the camera icon for. Do you think really we need to document the camera icon? Well, yeah, there might be someone on Mars. Well, first off, I'm gonna say if the people are from Mars and they got here, they probably know what the heck to do with a camera icon, right? I'm just saying. But this is the over documentation, documenting every little bit of stuff that we don't trust someone's mind to figure out how to do. We got to walk them through every little process. We got to document the heck out of how to do it from step 1 to step million. And we can't let them figure it out. I mean, they're going to figure out, they're going to hit the save button on the issue and it's not going to save. They're going to learn in that second that we had to sprint and put all this documentation and debate time on should we put listed as a required field. It's automatic. And I'm like, you don't need to do that. And I just look at some people and I go, and you're studying Agile, but yet you miss one of the main values in the Agile manifesto of working software over documentation, right? It's like, oh, God, gets me. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. Just in my world, what I deal with outside, and that's the enterprise level, right? Because you get the team's fine, the team doesn't care about this stuff. It's the enterprise people, they got to talk and they got to do it. So that's the enterprise world. Maybe you don't want to be an enterprise coach. Sometimes you get the worst conversations. They're good conversations too. I'm not going to knock it. There's some good points and there's some bad points. But they all take you down. But it's just fun. I wanted to share that with you. Remember, over documentation. How do we define when to check the box off and when not to check the box off? It's like it either is there or it's not there. That's what the check is. Yes or no, 0 or 1. Anyway, it's Wednesday. Have a great day. It's the middle of the week. Some people, they're all done. And the people in New Zealand, thanks for letting me attend your event last night or this morning at 2 o'clock in the morning. It was fun. And you all have a great day. Have fun. Thumbs up. Ring the little bell. Get noticed when we go post stuff up. And Eddie's at 3.4 million views on that little video, by the way. It went up another million views within 4 days. It's crazy. Anyway, take care. Have a great day. Bye. Happy scrumming. See ya. Bye.